start the show off with taking a look at these beautiful creatures, manatees. Certainly, they come by the thousands here in the Bay Area and, of course, across the state. But also you hear a lot of times how they are injured throughout the year. And I'd imagine that's why just one of the many reasons why there is the Save the Manatee Club. And they have some reminders for everybody this morning. We're so happy to welcome Allie to the show. I cannot believe this organization has been around for so long. And this is the first time the Morning Blend is finding out about it. So good morning, Allie.
Good morning, Carly and Natalie. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're so excited. My husband always calls them and teaches my daughter, they're the sea cow.
Yeah.
One of those creatures that you just love, no matter the nickname or if you refer to them as manatees. But Carly already touched on the fact that migrations are beginning to happen. So it's a good time to introduce you to our viewers and have you on the show today. What are you seeing out there now, and what are you hoping to raise attention to, especially this time of year?
Great. Yep. So manatees can be found in Florida at any time of year. They can be found in either salt or fresh or brackish water, from our coastal areas to our rivers and bays. But around this time of year, when the weather starts to cool, they'll make their way from their summer migratory routes all over Florida, all over the Southeast and our neighboring states, back to Florida's warm waters. And once it really cools down in the winter and water temperatures drop, they'll stay in Florida's warm water areas, such as natural springs or near power plants where they're flowing out warm water.
Now, it's interesting because I know your organization wanted to get the word about feeding them. And they're such a beautiful and kind of slow moving creature as well. It is so easy to kind of get up close to them. What do you want people to know this morning about making sure they do stay safe, and what you can still enjoy that they're around, but do it safely both for, people and for them?
Absolutely. So when you have an encounter with a manatee in the wild, it's such an amazing experience. And they're such big animals. They can kind of surprise you if you see them when you're out in the water in your boat or your kayak, or even along a shore on a dock. But we like to remind everyone that if you do see a manatee in the wild, keep your hands off and don't feed them, don't give them water. Remember, even though they're gentle giants, they're still wild animals. So if you're feeding them things, even lettuces or things that you might think are natural, it's really not a natural thing to do. It's not part of their regular behavior. And just like if you feed any other animal or even give your dog handouts from the table, they're going to look for more, change their behavior, kind of sit around waiting for those handouts. And we don't want manatees to do that. They need to be out finding food on their own.
One of the things you were talking about, of course, they're, such an important part of nature. Then throw in, the man-made things like boats on the water. And I know we talked about briefly, the injuries. And I think we saw that in one of the pictures of the manatees you showed earlier. What do people do if they spot possibly an injured manatee, or just kind of questioning if one may be in distress?
So a lot of the manatees, almost every manatee, adult manatee that you'll see out in the wild, they might have some scars on it, like the ones we saw in the video. If the scars are kind of a gray, whitish color, that means they've healed. And unfortunately, that manatee did have an accident, but might be doing okay right now. It has healed scars. If you see scars that are pink or red, they look fresh, that's when you know there might be a problem and you should report this injured manatee. And the way that you can do that is to call the FWC. Now, that's the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, our wildlife officials. You call them at 1-888-404-FWCC 3922. And we have that phone number on SaveTheManatee.org, and also videos and information on how you can tell, is that manatee injured or is it just a healed scar? We have some photos to show you. And we like to remind people to save that number in their phones, be aware, spread the word with their friends, especially if you go boating and go out on the water. Know what to look for, because you really could help save a manatee's life if it's in trouble.
I love watching this video. It's like so mesmerizing. Hey, talk about your organization before we run out of time. Number one, I want to hear about what it is that you actually do, because I know there is some events, besides just getting the word out, like what you're doing with us today. And I also want you to touch on your roots a little bit, because I understand there's a lot of Jimmy Buffett fans that I know have been helping this organization for quite some time as well, for good reason.
Yeah, so Save the Manatee Club was founded in 1981. So we're celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. And it was co founded by Jimmy Buffett, the singer and songwriter, and Bob Graham when he was governor of Florida at the time. Jimmy Buffett had an unforgettable experience with the manatee during his travels and learned about the different troubles they were facing and wanted to work with the governor to spread the word and help people protect them and their habitat. So we advocate for manatee and habitat protection, sometimes at the legal level. We spread public awareness information. We provide free resources to boaters, schools, other people who might need it. And we do events and different fundraising opportunities to support these manatee conservation efforts. We also do manatee research, where we study individual manatees to learn more about their behavior and genealogy. So if you go to savethemanatee.org, you can learn more about that and also watch our live webcams in the winter. If you like those videos, you'll love the live webcams, especially when it gets colder.
Yeah.
You're there for hours. It's very relaxing.
That. Good stuff. Well, it was so nice to meet you today. Thank you for coming on, sharing the spotlight with the manatee.
There you go.
Really appreciate it. And please stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Allie.